Today I'd like to show you how I created the statistics bar here on my portfolio page. It tracks all the contracts that I've ever deployed, the chains they're deployed to, and an accumulated number of transactions across all those chains. To get additional details, you simply have to click on the bar. It'll bring you to the contract deployment page. Now, at a glance, it'll tell you I have deployed to 7 chains, and I have 258 contracts, and it's roughly around 7.2 million transactions. So when you land here, what you're looking at is everything, all contracts on all chains. It just scrolls, it's an endless list, right? We have all the chains here. You can filter just by clicking on it. So Polygon, as you can see, I've deployed most of my transactions actually come from the Polygon network right now, particularly this user engagement registry contract. And but nonetheless, you can see base 56,000, not so much on BNB, Linea, may see more in the future. And then you have ones like Gravity, and then Ethereum, not so much, only because it's expensive, and that's why people have navigated over to L2s. All right, so if you were to click on any one of these, let's just say Polygon, go to the user engagement registry, it'll take you to its proper block explorer, to that contract. And right now, it's actually at 4.22, and I said I was at 4.0. So I need to do an update, and I haven't updated. It says right at the top here, I have not updated since December 30th. So we'll run an update while we're here, just so I can show you how that all works as well. So in order to do something like this for yourself, you could follow my process, or perhaps you have a better one, and if you do, I'd love to hear it. But for me, what worked was I would first start by using Postman, and every time I had a deployment, and actually I guess we'll back it up a bit, I would actually create my contracts using Foundry, and once I had a contract and then I deployed it, I would capture that record, those details, so I have a new contract address, I have the chain ID, and the name of the contract, anything that I wanted to create my records to put in my database. So then I would just use Postman. Postman would send those requests to my database. In this case, I'm using MongoDB, and when I do that, I'm able to now fetch everything from Mongo and run it through a script. And I do that probably, I don't know, once a week. It's not automated. I didn't feel the need to automate it, so I'll just run it myself. And it works really, really well. And when Mongo fetches, not Mongo, when my application fetches all the records from Mongo, we then need to get the updated data. And I'm using a couple APIs for this. One, the Etherscan API. It covers a lot of the big players in the game. So if you're using chains outside that scope, though, and I happen to have a couple, I have like Gravity, OKX, they didn't really work well with Etherscan, or they were just not available with Etherscan. There's other options. I have the OKX API key as well. So between these two, it's covering the chains that I currently deploy to. All right, so in order to see how I update it, again, it's a script. I'm not going to go through the code. This is high level. If you're interested in the code, again, you could reach out to me. You could find me over on Discord at the Dev Squad server, and I'll leave that link in the comments below. All right, so now let's run it. I have my terminal open here. And if I just run yarn, let's say, yeah, yarn run dev. And now it's going to go through its process of every single contract, and it's going to grab the new transaction count for it. So it does take a little bit of time. Once completed, it will print out a final summary. And as you can see, we have all the chains and the number of new transactions that were fetched. Polygon looks like it's producing the highest count at 317,000, and then the rest of them make up the total, which is 330,000. So that will be added to the count. Now that it's updated, I have to actually update the application. And I could use Railway for this. Actually, I did initially. I used Railway, and it was okay. It kind of had hiccups. There's a little more than I needed for what this is, being just a portfolio site. So I just do this manual process maybe once a week, twice a month, whenever I feel like it, really. But I do have to update my application, and that's easy as well. So I just navigate over here to Vercel, and then we'll just go redeploy. And we'll wait this out. It takes probably 2 minutes. And then I can refresh my page and the stats bar will be updated with the most current transaction count. Well, the redeploy has finished. So we're ready to refresh the page. So as you can see right now, we started with 7.299, and then with a refresh here, we're up to 7.629. So that's about it. That is how I was able to create the statistics that I wanted to display on the page. It gives a nice little overview of my contract deployment history and the fact that I am able to deploy cross-chain. So if you have any questions, please do feel free to reach out. See you in the next one.